Coming up in the news tonight, we have public reaction to a new policy at the Royal Bank of Canada, Abaco's chamber president commending the government for reinstituting a recovery concession, and the Department of Social Services aiming to bring senior citizens into the digital age. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the Royal Bank of Canada coming under fire once again as customers are displeased with the bank's latest announcement regarding its deposit account interest rates. Our ZNS News team visited the local branch and spoke with several clients who say they think it's time for a change. Ramiko Knowles reports.
Following the decision to remove $20 bills from its ATMs, the Canadian bank is once again making amendments. As of October 1st, all BSD deposit saving accounts will no longer earn interest. Additionally, new BSD term deposits will be offered at a rate of 0 until further notice.
I think we need to start making other arrangements.
Sentiments from a loyal client of the bank who has been a customer for many years. He says the bank is not what it used to be.
Right now, the quicker I get out here, the better.
Another client expressing her frustration with regards to the bank. She says, as customers, they're being treated horrible.
They don't give you nothing. All they do is charge you a bunch of money every end of the month, and they don't give you nothing, no interest, nothing. That's ridiculous. People can stop putting their money in the banks, that's all. They can start doing like I used to do before, put it in their mattress. Because what I giving you money for, and you can be taking it every month. You're taking some of my money, but you ain't giving me nothing. That's absolutely ridiculous. I ready to close my account right now.
Now one customer says she feels as though Bahamians should band together.
But everyone's too afraid. When you're comfortable in something, you're never going to move out of that. You're going to sit in there, and then you find yourself sulking in your misery. Nothing's going to change. They know the Bahamian people aren't going to get together and go on the streets and fight.
And while there is dissatisfaction regarding the latest policy change, these men are still upset about the $20 ban from the bank's ATMs.
Some people only making $180 whatever, and if they can't take off on $20, $30 to just put gas in their car, whatever, or to pay their little small bills and stuff, that means you on top of that, they charge you to deposit money to your account. Come on, man, these things got to change.
Now the currency is only $150. A lot of the ATMs, they're running out of the $50 bill over the weekend, which means that you can only take 100.
Because the average person isn't going to take like $100, or they don't want to take 100 because when you take 100 or 50, that's gone.
They feel as though the government should step in.
I think our elected officials need to address this matter. You understand me? Because, like I said, other Caribbean countries doesn't pay near the rate that we pay in this country for regular debit cards, Visa accounts, etc. They don't pay near what we pay in rates.
If I banking with you and I'm saving my money with you and you tax me, then I should be able to receive something in the end.
So don't forget, everybody is actually putting their money in the bank, and they actually using person's money for loans and different things and so on like that. And for you not to get any interest back on your funds and stuff in the bank, that is very, very, very sad.
Now officials from RBC say, like all financial institutions, RBC periodically makes amendments to the products it offers and adjusts them according to various internal and external factors. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The Ministry of Finance advising that all vehicles imported conditionally duty-free into Grants Bahama and Abaco under provisions of the Special Economic Recovery Zone Order are now approved to be transferred anywhere in the Bahamas without prior approval and subsequent payment of custom duties. The ministry also advising that all approvals that were previously granted for importation of replacement vehicles under the Special Economic Recovery Zone Order that have not been used by the applicant are now eligible to import a replacement vehicle duty-free at this time. Well, tonight, the president of Abaco's Chamber of Commerce is commending the government on the move. Residents on the island of Abaco continue to recover from the devastation caused by Hurricane Dorian just over 2 years later. Many of them losing not only their homes and businesses, but also their vehicles. Well, the Ministry of Finance announcing on October 13th additional concessions to assist residents on Grands Bahama and Abaco with replacing their vehicles. Abaco's Chamber of Commerce President Ken Hutton says they are pleased that this has been reinstituted.
There's a lot of people who are put in a very difficult position to decide whether they're going to repair their house or replace their car. So the fact that it's been reinstituted is a tremendous benefit. It's a tremendous development for Abaco and everyone in Abaco.
Hutton noting that unfortunately, many Abaco residents are still out of transportation.
It's been difficult. And they're still trying to rebuild. So, but the other thing that it does allow is that people who are not able to return to Abaco, let's say at this point in time, can still get their replacement vehicle and they can bring it to wherever they're living in the Bahamas. So if they had to evacuate and they've had to resettle in Eleuthera, they can still replace their car under the terms of this concession and be able to use it in Eleuthera.
The Abaco Chamber President adding that there's more that can be done to further assist the residents of Abaco with recovery efforts at this time.
We've been asking the government from the beginning to sort of formalize and solidify the Special Economic Reconstruction Zone concessions for a longer term than 6 months. It's always very difficult as the clock winds down on the 6-month time period, which this time expires December 31st, because people really aren't able to budget or figure out what they're doing, because you can't replace a house in 6 months. And with the way the supply chain is being challenged globally right now, it's very difficult to bring things in when you need them. There are long waiting lists for appliances, for furniture, for building materials, for windows. So, they need to. What we've asked for is an extension, a solidified extension for 5 years to help Abaco rebuild.
The country's COVID-19 death toll continues to climb, with 10 new COVID-19 related deaths on the daily dashboard, pushing the country's total to 622 deaths, with 53 deaths under investigation. The deaths of the 5 men and 5 women, all in New Providence, ranging in age from 38 to 85 years old, were recorded on September 10th through 29th. An additional 64 new cases were confirmed, with New Providence recording 36 of them. 3 are here in Grands Bahama, 3 in Eleuthera, 1 in Exuma, 13 on Long Island, 2 in Cat Island, 5 in Acklands, and 1 location pending. The breakdown for the newly confirmed cases is 39 females and 25 males. There are 127 persons hospitalized, 112 are moderately ill, and 15 in the intensive care unit. The country has 1,216 active cases and a total of 19,912 recovered cases. In other news, the month of October is recognized nationally as Older Persons Month by the Department of Social Services. This year, the department is aiming to bring those 60 years of age and older into the digital age. Megan Shepard tells us more.
The theme for this year's Older Persons Month is Digital Equity for All Ages. Senior citizen Sherland Williams says that he is recently retired and he's excited to see what's next. As it relates to the initiatives of the Department of Social Services, Williams notes that the world is indeed highly digitized, and he is encouraging fellow senior citizens to stay on track with the changes.
As the retired or the elderly, it's incumbent upon us that we educate ourselves and we be very knowledgeable about the way that the world is going. And these days, that is really that's the new norm, all right? So what are we saying? We are saying that what you learned in the field of technology, that's your equity, that's your skill. You own that. Nobody could take that away from you. And so when the time comes, as we move with the world, we see everything is being done via Zoom and Facebook, and we have all the different social media to do all the necessary things that we have to do. And if we don't keep up with the cutting edge of what's happening in technology, we'll be left behind.
It has been said that senior citizens are among the most vulnerable in the fight against COVID-19. And since the onset of the pandemic, many have been isolated from their family and friends. While this senior citizen shares what has helped to keep her spirits up during this time.
We have to know that there's always a tomorrow. The 3 Ps, pray, prepare, and plan for what's on the other side of it. And I think a lot of times, like she mentioned, the attitude, I think it's our attitude and our perspective on life is what would help us through situations, because I'm not only a senior, but I'm also a widow. My husband passed almost 5 years ago, and so I have had to cope with a whole lot of stuff. But the strength that I have is because of my faith and my trust, and then my children, and the legacy that my husband left. That has been able to take me through.
Caseworker at the Department of Social Services, Linda Hepburn, sharing what she admires most about working with senior citizens.
Senior citizens are precious jewels. They are resilient, strong, and compassionate. They are compassionate and have a sense of humor. They inherit a wealth of experience, knowledge, and wisdom. I admire the seniors' strength.
Now, on October 28th, the department will take a group of senior citizens on an island tour from West to East Grand Bahama. Chief Welfare Officer Prename Cooper says the goal is to give the group a fun and exciting day outside of their normal routines.
On Route 2, it's not just going to be a little boring bus ride. We have a fun agenda for our seniors, our older persons. So we're going to have some singing and storytelling. Oh, and some treats, some giveaways. We're going to be playing some games. It's going to be a fun ride. There's going to be a fun ride. So we're going to take them directly into McLeanstown. We wish we could have gone to Sweeting Ski, but obviously we cannot. And on our way back into the Freeport area, they would have a scrumptious meal, Eastern style.
Megan Shepard, STS Network News.
In news from the crime beat, police on Grand Bahama taking 1 female and 4 males into custody for possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition and possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. According to reports, on Thursday, October 14th, a team of officers from the Rapid Response Unit, acting on information, went to a home on Widgeon Road, Arden Forest, where they observed a male running into the home and locking the front door. Officers executed a search warrant, and while searching the front room area, they discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana. Further checks uncovered a black Maverick Arms shotgun with 7 live rounds of ammunition. As a result, 1 adult female and 4 adult males were arrested. Investigations continue. Meanwhile, police discovering a quantity of suspected marijuana on Grand Bahama. According to reports, on Thursday, October 14th, shortly before 1 p.m., a team of officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, acting on information, proceeded to an area on Rippendale Drive off Fortune Hill subdivision. Officers conducted a search through a footpath in the bushes where a crocus sack was discovered containing 9 plastic wrappings with suspected marijuana and 1 plastic bag containing a quantity of suspected marijuana. No arrest was made. The total weight of the suspected marijuana is 7 pounds with an estimated street value of $7,000. Investigations continue. Stay with us, there's more news right after this break.